Today I'd like to tell you about the VTech IS9181 Wi-Fi Internet Radio. Right now I'm listening to some Jamaican music from the Caribbean, actually from down in Jamaica, from a rock and reggae station that you can see playing. But first I'd like to show you a couple different things about the radio. As you can see, the speakers are on either side, right here, and the display screen looks a lot better in person. I've played back some of these video attempts, and it really doesn't look very good on the video camera, but that's about as good as I can get it. You can control the different stations and the selections and the up and down and volume or whatever, either from the remote control. Let's see if I can pull it in a little bit. You can see it's got all the options on it, fairly small. Or you can do them from the top of the unit up here. Let me pull it in a little bit closer. And let me turn it around and I will show you the back. Go. On the back we have, you can see where the power cord is plugged in. We have the RCA connectors right here, so you can do audio out and play the music from the internet radio over your stereo system or your surround sound system or any other device that you can connect to with the RCA cables. You could also get an adapter. I found one on Amazon, an RCA adapter that has the RCA connector on one side and a small connector for like the type that for a set of headphones that you would use like on the iPod or an MP3 player. This is an audio in connection here, and it comes with a cable. Oh, by the way, it does not come with the RCA cables. You have to use one of your own. But it does come with the cable to connect an MP3 player to this radio, so you could play your MP3 players through the speakers or any other type of device such as that. Let's see. Okay, now I'd like to just show you a couple different features here. I'm going to go back. As I told you, I was listening to some music from Jamaica. It was a reggae. You start out with My Internet, or with the screen that has the Internet radio on it, My Music. My Music would be music that would play from your computer. You can set this up with Windows or on your Mac system. I think it includes Vista, XP, and Windows 2000 for the PCs. And it has several different Mac versions. I'll put them in my written review. You can also listen to FM radio on it, which is pretty self-explanatory, or auxiliary in, and that would be like your MP3 player that I showed you that you would connect in the back for the audio in. Okay, I'm going to choose the internet radio, and you can make selections by the genre, location, by language, most popular stations, or my stations. And let's try by location today. I always like to do it by locations. It's kind of fun. You have Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, Central America, Europe, internet stations, Middle East, North America, Oceania, South America, and then we go back. There are lots of stations from the United States and from Canada. In fact, I have been listening to a couple stations that I grew up listening to back in the Midwest, WLS in Chicago and WOKY in Milwaukee. And it's kind of fun to be able to hear those stations again, although the music is all different. Okay, let's go and let's try one from Europe. We'll select Europe, and I'm doing all this on this little remote control using the select button. And here we have like Albania, Andorra. You can see all the different choices, all the different countries in Europe, and it's like this in all of the different areas that you would pick. Like Oceania would have Australia, New Zealand, Cook Islands. I mean, just a huge selection. I'm going to choose France, and here you see the selections within France that you can listen to. All stations, way too many stations on here. There's hundreds of them. Too hard to find what you want. You have alternative, ambient, blues, business news, Christian contemporary, classic rock, classical, college, comedy, country, dance, electronica, hard rock. You can see as I'm going through news, talk, oldies, pop, public, reggae, religious, R&B, rock, smooth jazz, soft rock, soundtracks, sports, talk, top 40, variety, world. You don't have this many selections from every country. Some of them you might only have one or two. Usually you have at least a handful, like there's at least 5 or 6 for most of the countries that I've tried listening to. Let's find an oldies station in France and listen to it. And let's go to Magic Radio. And there's a whole bunch of selections, as you can see. I'm going to go back to that Magic Radio. And we'll select that. And you can see it connecting, buffering. It takes a minute or two or not a minute or two, but it takes a few seconds to connect. Not all of these stations are broadcasting at the same volume. I'm going to turn this up a little bit, and I'm going to pull back the camera. And you can see the little volume button. And we'll go back. The sound that you hear over this camera, I've played back some of these before. The music sounds terrible over the video camera. It's just not like what it sounds like in person. In person, this thing has a very, very good sound, I think. Perfectly acceptable for this size of a radio. And also, as I mentioned before, the screen looks much better. It's a color screen. It kind of doesn't look very good in the videos, but much better listening to it in person. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this review, and I hope that I've given you some information that you might have needed, and thank you again.